Hello my YouTube family, my name is Mukesh and you know that I always upload the different types of videos for you. You know our one playlist Talk with Expert, and today we have a dynamic personality in our Talk with Experts program, Dr. ENT specialist Dr. Sushant Joshi sir. Sir, I welcome you in this program.
Thank you so much, sir.
Guys, we are with a very serious issue, a very serious problem of even youngsters, and in medical term that is the allergic rhinitis. Rhinitis in easy language we can say nasal allergy. Probably one of your family, everyone in every family, it's very common nowadays.
It's very common, very common.
But I will speak less. I'm directly going to Dr. Sushant sir, and if you want to drop your any question, then please drop into the chat box. Next interview we can, not we, he will reply. Yes, Sushant sir,
yes,
I again welcome you.
Thank you.
First
so much.
question, what is meant medically when we say you are suffering from allergic rhinitis or nasal allergy?
Exactly. When we see the term allergic rhinitis, everybody know about the word allergy. Allergy means something which we try to repel. We don't like somebody when we say I have allergy to this person, I have allergy to this thing, I have allergy to this place. So allergy in a term simply that we don't like it, or our body don't like it, or our soul don't like it. So when we say allergic rhinitis means allergy something related to nose, something which nose don't like. Our body, our nose, if our nose don't like something, then whenever it comes to contact with some kind of allergen, when we say, then it gives a kind of reaction, and that reaction leads to series of symptoms, series of problems in the body, which the spectrum of all those symptoms is known as allergic rhinitis. When we say allergic, it's allergy to something. When we say rhinitis, it is inflammation. Wherever itis comes in medical language, just for your information, wherever you read itis in any kind of medical language, it means inflammation or swelling. So it's a swelling of nose due to allergy. We call it allergic rhinitis.
Okay, sir. Specifically in India, how common is allergic rhinitis?
So allergic rhinitis is it's increasing a lot in its incidence and prevalence all over the world. Actually, the global burden of allergic rhinitis comes to around 30 to 40% of the population. So all the allergic conditions, may it be a skin allergy, may it be a nasal allergy, may it be a food allergy, these allergies are increasing with every passing day. And when we see the statistics, or when we see the epidemiology of allergic rhinitis, then we are observing that allergic rhinitis incidence is increasing every year when we see the statistics, and globally it is reached to around 30 to 40% of population. And in India, when we say, almost 25 to 30% of patients or the population is suffering for some kind of allergy, may it be a skin allergy or a nasal allergy. And amongst all allergy, nasal allergy or allergic rhinitis is most prevalent. And no doubt European countries have the incidence is more in European countries of allergic rhinitis, but when we see the severity of the disease, then severity of disease is most common in Asian countries rather than the European countries. So the global burden, and we say the local Indian burden of allergic rhinitis is very high, and it comes to around 30 to 40% of the population, and it's increasing every single day.
Good. Oh my God, it's too much. Like 30% is too much.
It's very too much.
Okay, who are at risk of getting allergic rhinitis?
Yes, see, allergic rhinitis is a chronic disease. It's not an acute disease. It's not an infective disease which is caused by some bacteria or a virus. It is our body's immune response to some allergen. What we need to understand what exactly allergic rhinitis is, first of all, to know what exactly how it goes and who are at the real risk of allergic rhinitis. What happens, our environment is full of allergens. There are very different kind of allergens which our nasal mucosa may not like. And why one person is having nasal allergy and other person is not having nasal allergy, it can be explained by a simple thing. Every person do not have a diabetes mellitus, every person do not have a hypertension, and every person who is eating more sugar does not necessarily have a diabetes condition. So it is very much gene directed. Okay, so our genes decide. If my parents are diabetic, then I might also be a diabetic. Right. Maybe I don't have a lot of sugar or not. True. So this is true with even allergic rhinitis also. Right. Allergic rhinitis is completely gene based. Okay. So if we have an allergy in our family, our gene is susceptible to the allergens. We have any kind of skin allergy problem in our family, a kind of nasal allergy problem in our family, we might develop allergic rhinitis at some point of time in a lifetime, may it be a younger age or may it be a middle age. So the first risk factor, when we call it, it is our genes. So our genes do decide about if we are going to have allergic rhinitis or not.
Okay.
Then secondly, the allergic rhinitis is more common in persons living in a moist areas, persons living in a humid conditions or green conditions where there are a lot of vegetations all around. So the village condition may also lead to a more increased incidence of allergic rhinitis, because the number of allergens do increase. So our living conditions also decide sometimes about the allergen things. No doubt it is it is more of gene based, but even if our gene based, then we will catch allergic rhinitis when we come to the exposure to the allergens. We need to come to the contact of allergen, and no doubt wherever we find allergens more, we are more susceptible to catch the problem of allergic rhinitis.
Okay.
So it is more of like gene based, and we are susceptible for the allergic rhinitis if our family persons, or it is present more of in our genes. Then we come to the age, which age is more susceptible. Then it is more susceptible in the younger age. So allergic rhinitis is more common in the persons of age group around 10 to 18 years of age. The most of the persons who are susceptible to allergic rhinitis, they will catch it in the age group of around 8 to 15 years.
Okay.
And less commonly it comes, maybe the first incidence of allergic rhinitis may start at the age of around 25 to 30 years. But most commonly, the younger age group is more susceptible,
right,
or more at risk of catching the allergic rhinitis.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. You mentioned the allergens. So what are common allergens or triggers causing nasal?
Exactly, sir. See what happens that in allergic rhinitis, what exactly happens, how it all goes about when we say, whenever when we are already susceptible to few allergens in our genes, we know that we never know these things, but our genes decide that what allergens we are susceptible to and we are not. So whenever we comes to the first time to the contact of allergens, then it starts a series of reactions in our body. So when we come to a contact of any allergen, then in the beginning we will not have any kind of problem or symptoms, because it is a series of sensitization which leads to the formation of few antibodies in our body, which are IgE antibodies, what we call. These are the antibodies which decides our allergy conditions in the body. Those antibodies will have a memory now. Now they have a memory now. Yeah, I am allergic to this allergen, and second time whenever he'll come to contact in me, I will react. So what exactly allergy is a hyperreactivity of our body to some allergen. So when the first time we come to the contact to allergen, he will keep a memory. He will not react, but he will keep a memory. And whenever second time will come to in contact with the same allergen, then he will show his memory, and he will react in a way that our body will have all kind of symptoms pertaining to allergic rhinitis. Now, what are the common allergens which are most commonly found in our environment? The first and the foremost is pollen grains. Pollen grains are very much having a protein things which are very good allergens for human body. So pollen grains are very common. Then second most common are the animal danders. Then third most common when we call are cockroaches. Dust mite. House dust mite is one of the most common allergen which we come through. Any kind of aerosol sprays, may it be in the form of perfumes, may it be forms of paints, these also very strong allergens. Then we comes to any kind of house pest. We have cockroaches, ants and all. They are also the danders of these cockroaches, the secretions of these droppings of these insects and cockroaches are very good and potent allergens. Then the mold spores, what we call mold spores, and when we say it in layman language, then mold spores are fungal spores.
Okay. And
fungal spores most commonly they are more commonly present in the moist places. So if in our houses we have our leakage of any taps, or we have what we call sealant or the moist walls and all, these are very good house of allergens, or called spore molds or fungal molds. So when we compile it, the most common allergens or triggering of allergy, nasal allergy, are house dust mite, pollen grains, dried leaves, cockroaches, animal or pet danders, these things, spore molds, and any kind of places which have a lot of maybe dust or this what we call webs and all. So these are the most important allergens we come across.
Okay, very nicely explained, sir. Thank you. Next question I was thinking, how do we know if someone is suffering from allergic rhinitis?
Exactly. Now, when we go to the next step. We are allergen to few things. Now, okay, fine. If I say I'm allergen to a pollen grains, then whenever I come in contact with the pollen grain, I'm having a seasonal allergic rhinitis. It's a month of March, what we call Pajjad ka mahina. And when we go outside and when we just come in contact with the allergen known as pollen grain, then he will have a series of symptoms or complaints which he'll come to the doctor with, and by those symptoms we'll come to know that this patient is suffering from allergic rhinitis. And the most common symptoms he'll present with, we can divide it on nasal symptoms, eye symptoms and throat symptoms, and our routine general symptoms. Most commonly the patient will comes with, doctor, I am having bouts of sneezing. Whenever I goes out in this particular month, then I sneeze for more than 15 to 20 times continuously. Then my nose is running like a tap. I'm having running nose like a tap, and the water is just flowing from my nose since morning or as soon as I start sneezing. Then I have itching of my eyes, my throat is itching, my eyes are itching, and I'm having a throat, my nasal is blocked. So these I told in a conversational way that how the patient will come to us. Okay. So the most common symptoms we come to know like this is the bouts of sneezing. The patient will complain about number of bouts, maybe around 15-20 sneezing altogether. Running nose, watery secretion from the nose, which is continuously flows from the nose, nasal blockage, nasal itching, throat discomfort, eyes itching, gritting sensation in the eyes. The patient feels that he's having some foreign body in the eyes, and whenever he closes the eyes, he feels some grittiness in the eyes, throat itching, and chronic cough, allergic cough, which whenever he comes in contact with the allergen, then he'll have a chronic kind of cough, allergic kind of cough, a dry cough. This is very common symptoms with allergic rhinitis. Then we come to the general symptoms, which is most important. He will have a disturbed sleep, and disturbed sleep will lead to the morning headaches. Then later on his efficiency of the work will decrease, and the most importantly, why we call any disease a burden, because the disease leads to the decreased office hours, decreased school hours. So the manpower efficiency decreases, patient gets off from the work, and we have a loss of the manpower and our economy. So in real sense, allergic rhinitis leads to a decreased school days of the children and decreased office hours from the workers, and the lifestyle completely have a effect of lifestyle.
Okay, thank you. Very nicely explained again.